Okay, I've got 2 pieces of Jasper, Georgia Jasper, that I heat treated to 450, and I'm curious to see what they nap like. I took a flake here, but I don't remember. Right, I took that off, but like 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember. So I'm gonna try to biface these on video. Yep. Well, let's see. I did get some hammerstones from the backyard. I sold the ones that I was using in the previous videos. Someone wanted to see the wear on those. You know, the WEAR, the wear, the use wear. Let's see if I can reduce these with hammerstone. This is medium grade, hopefully. I just now picked this up from the backyard, so out of my stash of hammerstones. So I don't know the grade until I start using it. It looks like a medium grade, although it might be soft because it's starting to crumble. Now I don't have any large pieces of Georgia Flint River anymore, except for biface like this or like this, that I can continue to reduce down with natural tools. But mostly all I have right now is hammerstones. I've got some antler, but it's not big enough for billets. Well, maybe some of it is, but I'll have to swing the bills pretty fast to get any energy from those. Yeah, so hammerstone is effective, and the bulbs of percussion are not too bad. If you want to look at the platform or the striking area angle, how high I hit the turtle back, what it looked like before, after, before, after, before. I was trying to get a good flake to come off here, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always do this. And as you can tell, the platform needs to be highly isolated. Yeah. But I can do this flake with antler or hammerstone. The good thing about hammerstones is it's the abrader and it's the percussor all in one. But if you have 3 different grades, it's still heavier to carry than antlers. You can use an antler to abrade too. It just eats up the antler really fast. Of course, abrading eats up the hammerstones fast too. So, what am I talking about? You know, everything with natural tools gets eaten up fast. Yeah, metals last a lot longer. And you know, I've said this before, some guys have got billets and hammerstones that they've been using for years. I don't know how they do it, because I go through mine in a few months, and that's it. 3 months on a hammerstone tops. Right? I mean, I've had them longer than that, but that means I have not been Flintknapping with them. I'm sure it'll last me 20 years if I don't use it. So yeah, heat treat works well with natural tools. And in my opinion, they heat treated or tried to heat treat everything. And if it didn't work, then they would knap it raw. But if it worked with heat treat only takes as long as your next meal, right? So you cook the meat right alongside of heating the heat treat, and you can heat this in the open as long as it's not windy. I gotta do that on video one of these days. I will show you that you can heat treat the stuff in the open while you're cooking meat. I just can't do it with my spaz dogs because they get all into what I'm doing, especially if I have meat near the fire. But yeah, if they can heat treat it, they will, because the natural tools work so much better when you got it heat treated. Now, for some reason, well, it's hard to run long flakes with Hammerstone, but it's not impossible. You just got to get used to it. Yeah, just got to get used to that. And what I had to do is just firm it up in my hand, in this hand, firm it up to resist the strike more, right? Because it bounces. The Hammerstone bounces off the workpiece. But if you can get it to where it's absorbing a lot of the, well, not absorbing, resisting a lot of the force with more mass. If you hold it like this, the mass of your hand adds to the mass of the workpiece. Hold it firmly. Make sure you're not pushing. I was holding it, but not pushing on the surface. I was just stiffening up my grip, but not pressing hard, just stiffening, so there's nowhere for it to go. I'm not gripping it really hard. I'm just making it rigid here and there, and make sure it's backed up on my hand pretty good. But I'm not gripping it like this with a clamping grip. No, it's stiffened. Still got a little bit of play, but it doesn't have much. It doesn't go very far. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway. I got a channel that has all natural tools. It's called Allergic Hobbit, in case you don't know. In case you don't read the descriptions in my videos, I have a link to that channel down in the description on most of my videos now. I do only natural tools on that channel, and it has more than 1,000 subscribers now, so I said I was going to start updating it as soon as it has more than 1,000 subscribers, and it does now. So I gotta update it one of these days. It's coming soon. I use a glove a lot in my videos. You know, these days. I think on my Allergic Hobbit channel, I don't know if I use gloves very much. A lot of natural tool guys don't use the gloves. Now, back in the day, they didn't have gloves, right? But they did have mittens. So you can use a mitten to do this. And you don't need a thumb on the mitten either. You can have the thumb exposed if you want. I hardly ever damage my thumb when I'm flint knapping. It's only these fingers usually. Okay, so this is about as far as I go with Hammerstone. The rest I would do with indirect percussion with antler. Yeah. So let's see what the ratio is. All right, this piece is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. All right, so millimeters. Let's say it's a 60, just a round number, 60, and the thickness 15. millimeter by 60, 4 to 1. Yeah, easy peasy. 4 to 1 with the Hammerstone, and then I'll get it down to 6 to 1 with the indirect percussion antler. Okay, and I got some good flakes for cutting meat, because this is going to be a weapon. I got good meat cutting flakes right here. Yeah. Of course, I'm not going to use them for cutting meat. I'm going to make arrowheads out of these. Oh yes. Or offer these for sale in a little box. A little box of flakes. Beautiful flakes. Yeah. Maybe I'll make a cahokia out of one of these. Cahokia out of one of these. Yeah. Maybe. Let's see what happens. I'll see what, like, if I can thin this down without messing it up. Basically, I just need to thin down this side. Yeah. It's the same stuff, it looks like. Same color. I'm worried about this. There we go. I was worried because if I hit it too hard, or if it's gonna make me hit it too hard, it's gonna make me break it. I'm holding it pretty close. I've always got a finger pretty close to the edge. Like when I'm doing this, my finger is pretty close to where I'm hitting. And then when I do this, my finger is pretty close to where I'm hitting. I've always got something supporting it, or resting. It's not really a support, it's just a rest. So when I hit, it's resting on the point directly opposite where I'm hitting. So I'm not doing the bridging and hitting like this. I'm hitting like this. Even though the finger might interfere with the flake travel, I still put the finger there. But it's not a grip. It's just a firmed up platform, or a firmed up thing for the workpiece to sit in. I don't have clamping pressure on it. There's no clamping pressure. It's just firm on a scale of 1 to 10. It's a 5. 5 firmness, holding it, but rigid and backed. On a scale of 1 to 10, backed, about a 7. It's not a 10 because I can't make it a 10 pressure back here without clamping pressure up here. So this is just firm on a scale of 1 to 10, a 5 firm grasp, and then about a 7 on the backing. Sometimes when I'm doing indirect percussion, I've got no backing at all. It's just loose. There's no backing back here. But when I'm doing the hammerstoning, I have backing. That for some reason helps to make those flakes travel. Whereas with indirect percussion, it doesn't need no help. Although it does, the help does do something when you're trying to flute. You know, if you're trying to flute, then backing it up does help with the indirect percussion. Like right now I'm hitting this here, but there's no backing here. I only back it when I want to run a long flake. So with this zigzag, it's just loose. this way, and a firmness of 5 out of 10. And I make sure I'm not subordinating it there or there. I'm not bridging it. And I'm always hitting with the same spot, and it wears flat. It naturally wears flat, and that's where you want to hit, because it doesn't matter if it hits up here or there. It's just gives you a range. If you're hitting with a rounded part, this is going to act differently than this. This is going to act differently than that. You know what I'm saying? It is a difference in how it strikes. But if it's flat, it's the same here or there. It doesn't matter. So you can miss, and it still hits it the same way. And sometimes I forget to hold it right there and not bridge it. And when I'm bridging it by accident, sometimes it'll just right in half or whatever. It's not dark enough to see the sparks, I don't think, but it does throw sparks. Hammerstoning does throw sparks. Now, I don't know if they're good enough to light fires with, but it does throw some sparks. Yeah, I don't like this scenario. It's kind of risky. I could snap it right here on the weak spot. By hitting here, I could snap it in that weak area. But I gotta try it and see how it's working. If it's not working that well, I gotta zigzag it. It seems like it might work. Just treat it like a turtleback and then attack it that way. Not a good platform. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's not a good platform. I just hit it anyway. Yeah, it's not a good. It's never a good platform, never. And then even when it comes really close, it's got to be hit just right. It's got to be hit just right. A perfect platform has to be hit perfectly, believe it or not. Yeah. At least the way I nap, I don't know. Maybe it's the way I'm doing it. But if I make a perfect platform, I got to hit it perfectly or it's going to mess it up. See, I don't like the options I've got here, so I'm just going to... I don't like the option because I crushed that already. This one is too strong. I know this will snap it if I hit it there. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I have a feeling it's going to snap the whole thing if I hit it right there. So I'm going to creep up on it a little bit. Yeah. Weaken it a little bit so that I don't need to hit it as hard. This one seems like I'm going to hit it into this direction instead of hitting it that way. I'll hit it toward that way. Yeah. See, if it, yeah. The bending forces are different if you send it down this way. It's kind of twisting it instead of bending it like this. It's kind of like torquing it in a different way so that it's less risky. So this is it's pretty soft, but it's not really soft. But it is. I would consider this on the right on the borderline between medium and soft. It's between medium and soft. It's actually pretty good. And in case you didn't know, aluminum is about the same weight as Hammerstone, a quartzite Hammerstone, by volume. So if I had a piece of aluminum the exact same shape as the Hammerstone, the aluminum and the Hammerstone would be about the same weight. And let's see, I think these two are similar. Let me check that. Let me just see. I'm used to this particular weight on the aluminum, and this feels very similar, so let's see if they are similar. Just to see. Because I don't even know if I think I'm clever. I don't even know if I am. Let's see. All right, this weighs 9.6 ounces. This weighs 10.1 ounces. So close, within a half an ounce. Okay, so yeah, it is very similar. So I'm already used to this weight. That's why I went and picked this one. So my subconscious gets a good grade for effort, because that's what's doing the weighing. I don't really consciously. I don't think I know. I'm assuming the subconscious kind of went, yeah, it feels good. Yeah. So did the Hammerstone weigh more? So that means like I can wear it down a little and it still be about the same weight as my aluminum, the thing I'm used to. So it's good. So you can't have this. I'm going to be using it for my stuff, for my allergic hobbit coming up. Okay, I'm going to use this Hammerstone. You can't have it, and you can't buy it. I need something. Yeah, something that works. Yeah. And no, I did not weigh that ahead of time. I'm sitting here thinking, you know what? I could have made that all up and weighed those two things ahead of time. You're gonna have to trust me. I did not weigh those ahead of time. But you never know. It's one thing I don't like about video. Yeah, you're seeing what I'm doing, but you don't know if I weighed that ahead of time or not. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got for ratio. Okay, 70 millimeters. And this one seems to be a little bit thinner. Yeah. I would say that's a 10 millimeter. So 7-to-1. Yeah. But I cheated because it's already thin on one side. I didn't have to thin down this. I only had to send flakes in that far, so I cheated. Yeah, but that's how far I would go on that one. So these are stashable. After doing the Hammerstone thing on these, you stash them. Or you stick them in your pouch and bring them home. And then if you die, it looks like they've been stashed because you just lay it on the ground and eventually they'll... If no one buries you, your little pouch of points just stays there and eventually gets covered up by nature. Yeah. Why would you die on the way home? Well, you know, back in the day, you can fall and kill yourself. Just really simple stuff. Also, if you're being chased by some animal, you drop your bag and then run. So it might get stashed that way. So not all of these were intentionally buried in stashes. I think some of these were just put in pouches and then either dropped on purpose or maybe lost by accident or hung on a tree and then when I never got back to it because you got sick and died or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, there's many ways how these things can end up together in a stash. All right. What else can I do? How much? I don't have much. It only took 26 minutes. Let's do another one. This one is yeah, heat treat also. This one's a little more difficult. Yeah, I should do this with aluminum because I don't want to mess it up. But I'm going to try it and see. Ooh, it's so delicate. Youch. That one felt delicate. This heat treat is more delicate than the others. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Some of this feels good, but some of it feels like I'm knapping a brick. Yeah, it's not so good down in this area. Well, that gives me an option to try that. Should I try it? Should I try the big old flake? I don't know. Come on. I don't know why I switched from this to this, but this feels pretty good. Uh-oh. Yeah. I'm trying to reduce weight on the tip because I'm going to hit the base pretty hard. I don't want no surprises. Crack right there, see that? See it? I'm delaying the inevitable. I'm trying to nap around, get a little more experience. I'm just goofing right now. All right, let's see what happens. Hit that hard. Let's see. Did it do it? Oh, it did it partially. I felt that on my wrist. Let's see. Hold on. My wrist is starting to feel it. The Hammerstone is not quite the same as far as ergonomics go. This, for some reason, is better with the ergonomics than the Hammerstone. Yeah, Yeah, it only acts up on the hard hits. That was a pretty hard hit, so. And I got a lot of work to do tonight, so I can't be hurting to do the work. Let's see, is that good? Actually, is that actually good or not? Ooh, that's nice. Someone will like that for an earring. After they nap it down a little bit. Let's put this away too. Start collecting this. I don't know, some of that stuff's got cortex with it, so it's not that great. All right, so we're getting there, getting there slowly. I don't want to do any more with the Hammerstone, really. Maybe one more good hit. It's Crunchiola pudding right there. It's so crunchy. So I think maybe some of you are asking, how do I find, or how do you find these particular stones that are like medium soft, not too soft? How do you find the Goldilocks stones? Not too hard, not too soft. You just gotta experiment. You gotta make a fool out of yourself in the Walmart parking lot or wherever you're finding these. Sit there and bring a piece of flint and go, this one don't work. Pick up another one. Ooh, a nice little flake. I'm gonna keep this one. Well, there's a lady with 2 kids in with a shopping cart waiting to get into their car, and you're sitting there blocking it. Yeah. But yeah, I go to landscape supply yards. They got these things sitting in the landscape supply. And if they allow me to buy it by the bucket, I just bring my bucket and I test these Hammerstones in their yard. I just drive in there. And if they ask me, I just say, yeah, I'm a flint napper. I'm looking for a certain kind of quartzite stone. And I'm probably going to get a whole bucket full for me and my buddies. They'll look at you like, okay, as long as you got money, they don't care. As long as you buy the landscape stones, they don't really care what you buy it for, unless you get some weirdo. Yeah. Okay, so let's see, just a little bit more. Maybe I can go a little bit further. Ouch, too much further. Not supposed to take it that much off the edge. It doesn't look that great anyway, so I'm not too disappointed if I don't get much out of this one. This is not all that great. Oh, man. It's all Crunchiola pudding up there. Yeah. It's all smashy Crunchiola pudding. It doesn't want to carry the flake. Stupid cortex. That's a little bit better. There you go. That's as far as I want to take it. If I start smacking on it any harder with all that inconsistency, I'm going to snap it. So let's see what the ratio is on this one. Let's see, 60 millimeter by, I would say 20, just to make it an even number. 3 to 1. Yeah, good enough. It's good enough. Sweet. All right, so the first half of this was Hammerstone. I'm going to switch over to indirect percussion with modern tools. How's that? What I'm going to name this one, I don't know. What am I going to call the video? I don't know. Gotta come up with something creative. So let's see. I had another Hammerstone sitting there, but the first one worked out great. Oh, there's a little flake back here. What are you doing back here? All right. I'm cleaning up because it helps me psychologically to reorient myself. I'm gonna switch over, totally different mindset with the metal tools. So let's see. All right, good enough. Let's see. What do we got? I got some Cortex here. We got Crunchiola stuff on this side. This side, even though it's a heat treat, it feels raw. There's no gloss to it. There's nothing. All right. I would like to preserve as much as I can on this side and eliminate the nasties on that side, but there's still nasty crunchies on this side. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. All right. Here we go. I'm going to try to take as much of this off as possible. And then get back to the other side. Yeah. Now, there's some cracks in this. I don't like that. That's not a good sign. Because if there's cracks in the good stuff, and I'm trying to preserve the good stuff, I'm just going to be preserving cracks. Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully what I'm doing is going to be productive. Strategy, the overall strategy. That's a conscious decision to take off the bottom. Subconscious is doing all the hits. It knows where to hit pretty much and how hard to hit. It's a heat treat, so it's responding pretty good to the hits. Yeah. I kind of know where to drive the flakes. I kind of know. Some of it wants to do weird stuff like that. So I don't have my natural toolkit here to do natural tool videos. Here I'm going to have to make some stuff with the antlers that I do have. I do have some antlers here. as far as indirect percussion sticks, I usually use a large antler tine. I don't know if I have one like that. I'll probably have to use a billet under my knee, which is difficult because they're thick, and the tips on the large billets, when I do indirect, they crack. The antler tine is a little stronger. That sound is a cat. The dogs are after a cat. When they bark like that, they see a cat. Yeah, the deeper barks are the neighbor's dog. When they're competing with the neighbor's dog for barking rights, it's a deeper, lower pitched bark. Alright, these are beautiful. But that's why I want to preserve this top part. I'm just leveling it out. I don't want to remove too much of it. Yeah. Just levelizing it. So, you know, just typical straightforward stuff. Like you've seen a million times. Okay. Camera. There. Pain in the butt. The camera's the phone, by the way. I'll say camera or I'll say phone. It's the same thing. I get a Samsung G something or other. I don't know what it is. I don't care. I don't care what kind of phone it is. I can't brag about it because it seems like every time I get a new phone, the cameras get worse, not better. The only thing better on this phone is the memory. I can store up to 12 hours of video, whereas I could only store like maybe 3 hours of video on the other phone. So that part's good, right? But that's it. I can't see why it's better other than the memory. Probably has newfangled features I don't even use or need to use. I can't even make fancy thumbnails without using some sort of high-priced software. I was looking on YouTube and they say you can make fancy thumbnails with Instagram. The built-in Instagram feature for stories. If you got some kind of thumbnail editor there. I tried using it and I can't put the text where I want it, or I can't put in text that doesn't have a black background. I can't put in transparent text. Maybe some of you guys know what the commands are to get that transparent text, because I couldn't find it. Maybe you need a fancy version of Instagram, or maybe you need the iPhone version of Instagram to get the transparent background text. I got an Android. Yeah. Which almost took too much off of that one. Yeah. Too much gusto. Dang it. I don't like it when I take too much. I don't like it when I try to take too much again and I can't do it. This time I wanted to take too much again, but it won't let me. I got those layers right there. I do have layers in this one. See, I tried to take a lot off of that, but it didn't work. Okay. I got no choice but to make it more narrow. Oh, dang it. I looked away. I actually looked away for a second and I hit that. Dang it. I figured that was going to be an easy hit, but there was a weird crack or something in there. Yeah, I look away sometimes. Looking in the viewfinder over in this area because it has the I don't know, the doodly things on the side there. The little zoom control thing on the side right there. I was just looking at it. Alright, let's see what we can do. Yeah, if I can tame that a little bit, it's not going to be as difficult to remove it. Okay. Yep. Everything good? Everything good. Some critical hits coming up. Oh shucks, I got something on the stovetop. I forgot, I'm cooking tonight. I got something on the stovetop. It's just simmering, but I gotta wrap this up. Yep. Oh no, that's not too bad. I managed to clear off some of that, but I still don't like it. No. Did it do it? Kind of did it. Kind of, sort of. These two sides are completely different in texture, in properties, in whatever it's called. Consistency. No, it's just the texture. They're completely different. So we switch from one side to the next. It's different. Luckily, I don't have to think about it too much. There's some weird stuff going on in there. Look at that. Dang it. Sometimes petrified wood looks like that when you knap it. Yeah. Sometimes. I was giggling with some deep fakes today. Some deep fake videos. They're getting really, really good. You know, when you're putting someone else's face on somebody saying something else. See, the voice that you're trying to copy is already memorized by the computer, right? And then the face, the computer or the software memorizes the voice. It can create the voice using any transcript, and then it memorizes the face, and they can put that face on any other face. So you overlap it with the new face of the new actor with his voice saying what the first actor was saying. It looks so real now. So what seems to be popular is a lot of Kanye deep fakes. That was funny. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger deep fakes. They are so funny. Yep. So yeah, if you got the blahs, just look at some funny stuff and the blahs go away at least a little bit. I don't like that craciola pudding right there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove this lump first, and then I'll deal with the other side. It's just opportunistic. That's rough in the middle right there. I got a feeling that roughness goes right through. Yeah. So I was trying to save the good side. Now there's a couple of ways I can deal with this. If I still want this good stuff, I gotta trim all that off and then hope that I can sharpen it without having too much trouble. You know, make it a lot more narrow and take this whole mess off this side and make it real narrow so I can keep some of this, or I can thin it down and I'll keep most of this material and skim off the good stuff just to get rid of that layering between the two different consistencies. Yeah. But I don't know. There's no guarantee it's going to look good. So I'll just try to thin it randomly. Try to clean it up. There's no way I can do this with Hammerstone. There's no way at all. Nope, nope, nope. I can't do this kind of stuff with Hammerstone. There's no way. So I can't make it this thin with Hammerstone. So don't be asking. I can go up like, what was it, 5:1 with the Hammerstone? With the thickness ratio. That's it. I don't have material to waste trying to do better than that. And normally it's 3:1 or 4:1 with the thickness ratio with the Hammerstone. That's it. Don't need to go any further if you've got indirect percussion or billets to thin it down. Indirect or direct percussion with antler to thin it down, you don't need to go further than that with the Hammerstone. Now some people want me to show them how to go to 6:1 with Hammerstone and then 9:1 with the rest. Yeah, I can if that's all I'm doing all day long. And I have good material. And I'll show you something that you won't be able to do as a beginner. And then I'll waste all my time and I won't have anything for the auction. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it. Yeah. And of course, you're going to make the same point over and over again. You don't get good with natural tools by going back and forth from different point styles. You got to stick with the same point style over and over and over and over. And then you can get really good at that point style with the natural tools. You can tweak it and fine tune it. Because natural tools, they're very inconsistent. But if you're doing the same type of point over and over, it's easier. It's much easier than if you're having to deal with not only inconsistent points, or inconsistent tools, but inconsistent type of point. It becomes a nightmare. Same type of point over and over and over for days. Then you can start getting them thin. That's what you're looking for. And make sure that you're making the same mistakes that they used to back in the day. Don't make the edges all perfectly straight, because back in the day they were wonky in most cases. Which makes it a little bit easier to make them and to thin them down. Yeah, because they don't have to be so perfect. To make them extremely thin and perfectly straight, it's a modern thing. If you look at the ancient artifacts that are extremely thin, the edges are not perfectly straight. They tend to go with the flow. In many cases. Not all cases, there's always an exception. There's always the 1% of the 1% that everyone's looking at and saying, well, this one is perfectly straight and really, really thin, and it's natural tools and it's old. Yeah. That's the 1% of the 1%. Yeah, of course, there's an exception. So what do you want to do? You want to do the old ways that are the exceptions? I do the old ways, but only the 1% of the old ways. So those are the real old ways. Only the rare old ways are the only old ways. Yeah. The rare old ways are not the only old ways. The common old ways are what the old ways normally are. The common old ways. Not the 1% of the 1% old ways. Got it? I hope so. If not, you'll be bugging me. Or you'll be bugging other people. It's not the way you do it, man. I saw the 1% of the 1% over there. That's not the way they did it. Yeah. All right, so am I ready to clean that off? Maybe. We shall see. It travels nice on that good material. But that was like my one good shot. I don't have any other good shots because the material's kind of risky. I'm going to take that shot and see if I can do it, but it's risky. Did it do it? Well, it's not too bad. It didn't do it though. It didn't clear off. Well, yeah. Let's see. Kind of cleared off some of that. If I take too much off, it's going to install the curve. Yeah. So those are my two shots. That's it. I could take another one, but then it's going to kind of be curved. I don't need to take mass off of that side. I need to take mass off of this side. Yeah, I need to take that mass off, but I'm going to leave it. It's already an hour. What I'm going to do is I'll put this in the Brooks and bifaces. Let somebody else mess with it. Yeah, it's pretty thin. You can still make something out of it. It's just going to have some defects. It's still thin enough for a knife that'll cut well. Yeah. All right, so what did I do? Where's the other ones? All right. Let's get them all together for a group picture, group selfie. Let's see. Let's see now. Everybody smile and say free chips. Free flakes. Let me see. So there you go. Yeah. That's the good side. That's a good side. And this is a good side. Yeah. Alrighty. That's it.